Welcome to Rob Schmitt Tonight. Before we get to Israel, Louisiana Congressman Mike Johnson is officially the 56th Speaker of the House. And here he was earlier today, just moments after clinching that victory.
To my colleagues, I want to thank you all for the trust that you have instilled in me to lead us in this historic and unprecedented moment that we're in. The challenge before us is great, but the time for action is now, and I will not let you down.
The brilliant constitutional law expert is a close ally of President Trump, who says he's dead serious about cutting spending in Washington. We're going to have a lot more on that here in just a few minutes. But first, as we've come to expect on almost any subject, there's plenty of idealism coming from Joe Biden and Democrats as they try to handle a disaster that they helped create in Israel. In the past week, Biden and company have begun to soften their tone on Israel's right to defend itself. The White House mildly signaling perhaps it's time for a ceasefire. Biden alleges the Palestinian people, by and large, want to live in peace with the Jews. That Hamas is really the only problem here. And the problem with this kind of wishful liberal idealism is that it's incredibly dangerous if wrong. And all indications are that it is. Most are aware Hamas, a terror group, was elected to power by the Palestinian people in 2007 after Israel handed over the Gaza Strip. Liberals argue that times have changed, and the antiquated 2007 election now means nothing. They think the Palestinian people have progressed in the past 16 years. But a recent poll tells something much different. 64% of people living in Gaza still back Hamas and the leader of Hamas. And for those who say without Hamas, Israelis and Palestinians can live in peace, there is a bit of a reality check that you can see anywhere you look on social media these days. Let's start here with the youngest generation of Israel's neighbors.
They teach us in school that Jews are fickle, bad people. I am ready to stab a Jew. We have to constantly stab them, drive over them, and shoot them.
Take along a rock and knife. Stab and strike in Hebron. Do not consent to the rule of the despicable.
What do you say to Palestinian youth in the West Bank? When you hear about a terrorist attack, for example, a stabbing that occurred in Israel, what do you think about it? It makes me happy. It makes you happy? Yes.
Really, really sad to watch. And it's obvious the ideological zealots of Hamas are indoctrinating their people with horrible ideologies, teaching and breeding not just anti-Semitism, but a strong desire to brutally kill Jews. And while it's true Hamas and Shia Muslim extremism is the problem, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who's at fault. This is just the reality of the situation that we're in. Watch this video of a mother on social media pretending that her own children are the United States and Israel, and down they go. Camera zooms in, big smile on her face. If you want to know why Israel occupies Gaza and keeps it under constant surveillance, which enrages naive Western leftists who sit in coffee shops in relative safety, those videos are why. And this isn't just there. This is all around us now. Latifa Abush Akra is a reporter for an Iranian state news channel. She lives in London and was interviewed this week by an English network where she got to play the victim. She got to complain about Islamophobia, what she's experienced after the brutal Hamas attack. But somebody noticed who this woman was and checked into it and found this video of Latifa immediately after Hamas slaughtered children and raped women 3 weeks ago.
Nothing will ever be able to take back this moment of triumph, this moment of resistance, this moment of surprise, this moment of humiliation on behalf of the Zionist entity.
That's the victim in London who is having a real hard time with Islamophobia, living a lavish life while despising the West. If the English had any stones, they'd see that and deport her back to Iran immediately. In Dearborn, Michigan, Rashida Tlaib's district, Children chanting Allahu Akbar as they rage their hatred for Israel. This is Michigan. Trust your eyes. This is not just a Hamas problem anymore, and it's dangerous to try and idealize the world and pretend that it is, which is what the White House is doing right now.
The anger, the hurt, the sense of outrage that the Israeli people are feeling after the brutally inflicted devastation by Hamas is completely understandable. Israel has the right, and I would add a responsibility, to respond to the slaughter of their people. Hamas does not represent the vast majority of the Palestinian people on the Gaza Strip or anywhere else. Israelis and Palestinians equally deserve to live side by side in safety, dignity, and peace. And when this crisis is over, there has to be a vision of what comes next. And in our view, it has to be a two-state solution.
So this kind of speech is the same careless rhetoric we hear all the time, based in virtue, not reality. Rhetorically, the American Democrat Party lives in a land of lollipops and rainbows at a place where money grows on trees and where everybody gets along. It's this same lunacy that led the West to self-destruct in the name of multiculturalism, which even its most ardent supporters now seem to agree has failed miserably, but of course it's too late, and is leading to a conservative political onslaught in Europe and places like Italy, Hungary, and Poland. Even Sweden is turning hard right on immigration after what the left has done to the West over the last 20 years. It's a logical response. The West is under assault, and these people don't just hate the Jews. The United States, the West, whites, it's all synonymous. If you were curious how our beautiful universities that were a part of the founding and the growth of this nation turned into cesspools of anti-American and anti-Jewish, anti-Western indoctrination, here's a clue. Qatar, a radical state that hides its true motives behind all of its wealth, because money hides that stuff pretty well, Qatar has dumped nearly $5 billion into prestigious American schools. From Eli Lake at the Free Press, in some cases, the universities cooperated with Qatar's strategic interests. The Qatar campus of Northwestern, whose U.S. journalism school is ranked as one of the best in the world, signed a memorandum of understanding with Al Jazeera, the Qatari-funded news channel that has provided a sympathetic platform for Hamas and other Islamist groups over the years to help train its reporters. That's why so many people in my business are insane. Here was a professor from Cornell just last week.
It was exhilarating. It was exhilarating. It was energetic. And if they weren't exhilarated by this challenge to the monopoly of violence, by this shifting of the balance of power, then they would not be human. I was exhilarated.
Exhilarated by the slaughter of children. That's one of those Qatar-funded universities right there.